Keep it suspense.
Ladies and gentlemen, friends, what a delight to be asked to do it. And to be fair, we were involved from the very start. When John approached us about it, to make inquiries to see whether we could put, or the BSA Owners Club could put a plaque alongside the Hailwood and the Joey Dunlop on the other side of the road. And the initial reaction was that it would probably be very complicated in government getting permission to put it on somebody else's hedge, etc. But the main consideration was that if anybody wanted to view it, they would have to cross the road. And having lived in the Isle of Man for 75 years, when 70 years ago you could do it quite easily, now it would be taking a life in your hands. So I suggested to John that if I had a word with a chap called Adrian Earnshaw, who is a trustee of the Hailwood Center, then there might be a possibility that it would be allowed to be put somewhere on the Hailwood Center so that everybody connected with the TT and the Manx Grand Prix and the car rally and everything, just like the seats around the corner, would then be able to kind of pass time without in danger of getting run over. So Adrian Earnshaw put it to them, and the matter was agreed. The tragedy was that since that time, Adrian is no longer with us. And if anybody's about on Sunday morning at this particular venue at 10:30, there is a little bit of a talk and a memorial to Adrian Earnshaw, who I know for a fact, having been involved with him all my life, that certainly Adrian did an awful lot for the running behind the scenes of the TT and the Manx Grand Prix. But when you come to BSAs and you see one in front of you, you get a few memories as well, don't you? And I'm sure the memories are going to be now etched in stone, so to speak, on the plaque. But in the era of the clubmans, when I was about 8 or 9 years of age, and the Gold Star was the main thing, well then you came up and you saw the out-and-out clubmans when the old Grandstand was in place, and the old line going down there where they were all parked up behind big wire netting. And used to be kind of looking at the chaps that were riding them, genuine clubmen who had this Gold Star. And the BSA Owners Club have already acknowledged how the name came about by the unveiling of a plaque, and similar to Walter Handley, who won the Gold Star, I believe, at Brooklands, to get the BSA Gold Star nomination. I can always recall the boys when they were doing their kick-starts on the line, and the ones that wouldn't go because the points weren't quite right, or there wasn't enough spark, or the fuel was wrong. But they'd been to the garage that John had been to this morning. There was no ethno in the petrol, and the bloody thing in the middle was putting this firing like a bugger on the way in. He told me in his own inevitable way. So things like that you always remember. But I haven't a clue of the names behind there, but I'm well aware of the names. So if John and myself now can, whatever date it is, the 24th, very significant as well in my life, the 24th of this particular month, to make the effort. And I know Prince Philip used to do a lot of this messing about. He always had a little word to say, but I don't know what Prince Philip would think of a piece of pattern, a couple of months of duct tape to get it unveiled. But that's what we'll do now. So on this particular date, in memory of all the former riders who are on this particular plaque, and we might be able to enlighten one or two when we see the names. John, would you like to, with me, assist and remove the plaque to reveal the winners of the Club Yeah, my word there you go, isn't it? Yeah. Well, the one that immediately stands out is, from my way of thinking, is because I watched in Onken, and you say to yourself, well, how can you watch a Gold Star going past Onken? But in 1955, the senior was held over the Clips course. And those of you not aware of the Clips course, instead of going down Bray Hill, you turned right, went Ballynard Road, and then went all the way up to the Cregna Bar, and then round. And the Clips was named after, and one of the most authoritative people on the Clips course was Adrian Earnshaw. It was named after the reservoir where Onken water is stored. You came down then from the top of the White Bridge down through Onken Village, where I watched Eddie Dow do that. And there was one particular significant thing about that. There was a local lad called Kelly from the Isle of Man, obviously, who went on to finish second, I think, to Eddie Dow in that particular race. These are a little bit before my time, but not much. I was about in 1949, and probably in the household that we were in with Jeff Cannell and Jack Cannell, we've heard all the stories about what went on in that particular one. We go then down to the one that you always think about when Gold Stars come to mind, and the double win in 1956, and that was over the mountain course of Bernard Codd. When you're a schoolboy and you're thinking of names of TT riders, there was always two from that era that stood out: Charlie Salt and Bernard Codd. And and you just remembered their names. So it's been an absolute delight to do that. That's not a Gold Star I hear in the background. Certainly sounds like this one when you shut it off. But by the same token, it's been a delight to do it. Thank you very much for your attention. We've had a bit of opposition from Manx Radio, which is a bit of a boost now, because I used to give them opposition in the past, but now fully retired and all that, but it's just a delight. And we're going to go through a few little bits and pieces tomorrow night down at St John's Football Club, where we'll probably run through closer detail the Jimmy Buckens, the Eddie Dows, Bernard Codds. Eddie Dow went on to be one of the most respected agents of Gold Stars that you could ever imagine. In fact, when you talk about certain people that you're associated with things, well then, Eddie Dow and Gold Star, another one that comes to mind. But thank you very, very much for your attention.
Thanks, George.